We were able to grab 5 games this week. One did come for free. It's not something I normally would have picked up, but it's free, right? And the other ones are pretty good titles, so I'm excited to see what they have to offer. Welcome in, guys. My name's Ant from Gaming Antics, and today we are going to be looking at what we picked up this week on the Xbox 360. We got 5 titles, as I said. We've got 2 from one franchise and just a couple others. So I'm really keen to show you what we picked up, and there's a couple of really good games in here as well. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what we got. Now, first up, this one is a replacement for one that we already do have, but it is just a different version of the game, and that is Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, the Lego games. Now, I think we picked this up a little while ago, but I got the classics version. So now we have the proper version, which will replace that in the collection. And I do like the original version a lot more. We've spoken about it before. Build and battle through the original trilogy. Play through a fun Star Wars galaxy that combines the endless customization of Lego with the epic story from Star Wars episodes 4 to 6. Build and ride vehicles. Build and ride classic Star Wars vehicles and get in and out to explore. Mix and match characters. Create and customize your own playable Star Wars characters in millions of different ways. Play with a buddy, drop in, drop out co-op, lets a friend join in or leave at any time in any level. Now, that's what's best about these games, I think, is the co-op of the games. They're absolutely fantastic. They're really good to run with kids and, teach puzzle solving in video games or how to control characters. I know one of the very first games that my daughter played with a camera was Lego Star Wars Episode 1. And she just couldn't figure out how to maneuver the character. So we had to talk about the camera. And it's so interesting watching someone who's never played a video game before trying to figure out simple video game mechanics. It's really, really interesting. At the time, I was going to do a video on it, but I was still very unsure of whether I wanted my daughter to be on any videos. So I didn't end up doing it. But the concept of what we know as gamers versus what someone who's never played a game before knows is quite an interesting subject, because there are so many things that we just kind of take for granted, like the camera. When I said, "You got to move the camera," she was like, "What camera?" It was so cute. But anyway, back to the game. Star Wars Lego games are always fantastic. Really, really fun play. And I'm keen to get into this one. It's probably going to be one that I will play with my daughter. So yeah, excited for that. Next up, in the same vein, we've got Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. The saga continues. Build, battle, and laugh your way through Star Wars universe like never before. Play in levels spanning the entire Clone Wars era, including Season 1 and 2 of the hit animated TV series. Build your army and defend your bases in the biggest Lego Star Wars battles ever. Brand new multiplayer modes enable you to play with friends in all new ways. So once again, multiplayer. I haven't watched the Clone Wars much. I did try and get my daughter into it. Both have clean discs, which is fantastic. I did try and get my daughter into it, but she wasn't too interested at the time. So maybe it's another one that we try soon. She does like Star Wars stuff specifically because of the Lego games, but yeah, not much in the booklet. There are some really cool Star Wars Lego pieces though. Really cool. I did have Luke Skywalker's helmet, but I do also have kids, and they decided they wanted to build something else with the Lego, so that kind of sucks. But Lego Star Wars, number 3. Once again, fantastic games. Next up, we've got a bit of an interesting one that I have never played a game within this series, I think, apart from maybe on the PlayStation 1, and that is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So join the Battle of Hogwarts, wield powerful magic, and engage in epic battles in your quest to destroy the Horcruxes and Voldemort himself. Play as 8 characters, each with unique heroic missions, battle fearsome enemies, and defend Hogwarts. So we've spoken about movie IPs before and how sometimes they are horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Sometimes they can be pretty good. It just depends on who's actually making the game. So in this situation, it's EA and Warner Brothers. And I think Warner Brothers was the ones that did the Mad Max game, and I'm not a big fan of that. But with Harry Potter games, I don't know how you can go wrong, really. There's a blueprint there of how to make a good game, or at least how to make a good story. Like, you can mess the mechanics up, but... so you got spells, Stupefy, Petrificus, Totalis, Expulso, a bunch of different spells, Protego, casting tactics. So I don't know what type of game it is, whether it's adventure, sort of, fantasy adventure style. I can guess the story. I would, if I had to guess, I'd probably think it's got something to do with Harry Potter. But an interesting one. Definitely one that I wouldn't mind giving a shot. There is this cool scene on the back with Voldemort and Harry Potter up there, which could be a cool scene to play through. But yeah, I feel like this is more of an expensive game. I think I've seen it at the $25 to $30 mark. I should probably mention that these three here, I didn't actually purchase these. These were given to me by a friend of mine, Caffeinated Chaos, on another YouTube channel. And I got a bunch of games because they were getting rid of their Xbox 360 and their games. And they're like, hey, you collect. Do you want these? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. So, yeah, big thanks to Caff for that. I'm really happy to add them into the collection. Next up, we've got one that I've never, ever heard of, which, if you've been watching this channel for a little while, there's a lot of those. But this one is another, not movie IP, TV IP, and that is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Now, some of the Walking Dead games are actually pretty good, so this may be interesting. Do you have what it takes to survive? Play as Daryl alongside his brother Merle in an unforgiving prelude to the TV series. Scavenge supplies to survive. Watch out, the walkers can see and smell you. Choose to survive and live with the consequences. So one player, that's it. There's no extras on it. It says the online service for Xbox 360, but then there's not really much that you can do with it. Walking Dead's a cool universe, a cool zombie universe. No booklet, that kind of sucks. Cool zombie universe. It's got a decent enough backstory within the world that video games do thrive on this. The Telltale series is a lot of fun. I've played some of the phone games before that I end up getting hooked to. But yeah, I love zombie games, so it'd be interesting to see how this stacks up against things like Days Gone. I know that I really wanted to play it, but I found myself disliking it when I did play it. So I wouldn't mind seeing this because it feels like this would have a similar vibe. Like the main character from Days Gone kind of gives me a Daryl vibe, right? Maybe I'm wrong in that. But yeah, The Walking Dead, Survival Instinct, another TV IP, but they usually do it pretty well. So I'd be keen to see how this one shapes up. As you mentioned, the Walking Dead one actually came from CAF as well. The next game up is one that I did get for free while purchasing some other games. And I kind of didn't know whether I wanted to add it to the collection. But I think for the moment, just as a placeholder, it's not that bad of an idea just because it's free. I'm going to mark it on my list as need to replace, or if we can find the thing for it, if that makes sense. But this is why I kind of don't want it in the collection. It doesn't have a cover. But the game is Pimp My Ride on the Xbox 360. I remember playing this when I was younger, I believe, at a friend's place. And it wasn't like, it's not the worst game. This is a whole stack of movie IP and TV IP. It's not the worst game. It's not the best game. Not the best game at all, but it's not the worst game. So I believe what it is you drive around in your souped up vehicle and do a whole bunch of different challenges and stuff. It's basically about making the game, like making the car look cool, and then you get points and do races and all sorts of other stuff. I believe it has been a very long time since I've seen anything on this game. Yeah, so like this one. Ghost Ride the Whip events. In this event, you must win over the crowd by performing a number of dance moves as you show off your whip. When you arrive at the event, you'll see an action zone. Simply drive into this zone and press the action button to activate the event. Then there's the Hot Stepper event, a variation on the Ghost Ride, the Whip events. Here, your goal is to win over the crowd by performing a sequence of dance steps. Like, it's not even... Yeah, this is the one that I remember. Cruise events are simply about showing off your ride. So you just drive around and people look at you. So, yeah, maybe I'm misremembering it, and maybe it's actually terrible. It looks pretty bad. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't have high hopes for this. Anyway, Pimp My Ride. If you have played it, let me know. Eventually, I will get that the cover for it, or we'll just find another one because I don't think it's an expensive game, to be completely honest. So yeah, we've got the 5 new games: 2 Star Wars, Harry Potter, Walking Dead, and Pimp My Ride. What a variation of games, all movie IP or TV IP. I didn't notice that when I was getting it. So, but anyway, add it to the game collection. So if we add these to the collection, we are up to 234 games. So going strong. If you are interested and you do want to see all the games that I have picked up since starting, there is a full Xbox 360 collection tour up on YouTube at the moment. I'll try and link it in the up here. If you wanted to see what I have picked up and make some suggestions on what I should pick up next. Before I put these into the collection, I should probably mention, if you want to see what games I'm playing as well outside of just these 360 games or anything like that, I do have a GG game collection site that I've been pretty much logging everything on. It says like when I beat a game, when I beat a game, and little reviews as well. So I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to sort of follow along with what I'm playing. But let's mark these off on sheets, throw them into the collection, and we'll get back and have a bit of a chat for the rest of the video. All right, so I've put those in and we are looking at 234, which is once again a good number. We're 16 away from 250, the next milestone, and yeah, that's looking really, really nice. Once again, still ages away from a complete collection, but we're getting there slowly and slowly. I do have the Xbox from the last video. If you haven't seen that, I picked up 2 Xboxes, one for $50, one for $10. I do have one of them that is working, so I'm going to be putting that up on Marketplace soon, try and get some more funds. And I do want to do a couple of big purchases before the end of the year. I would like to be sitting around about that 350 to 400 mark before the end of the year. That would be nice. That would mean that we have a couple of really big haul videos, but it's going to be hard because the titles that we're looking for now are starting to get less and less common, and some of them are just pure shovelware, like things like FIFA and the Kinect games and stuff like that. So I really have to pick and choose what games I'm going to be picking up so that the videos aren't, 5 games of FIFA or something like that. So it's going to start getting harder and we're going to have to start looking real hard. There are a few video game specific, like retro video game specific shops in Victoria, things like Game Experts, and there's one, I can't remember the name of it. It's like 32-bit or 39-bit or 42-bit or something like that. There's a couple of those around Victoria. So even going in there with like a bit of a budget and picking a whole bunch of games might be a good idea. I just need to figure it out and figure out how we're going to do it. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can get to that 350 to 400 mark before Christmas. That would be really, really nice. So moving on to the question of the week this week, I've seen a lot of videos come up about backlogs and moving through your backlog and finishing off your backlog and things like that. And what I wanted to ask you is, what is your opinion on gaming backlogs? Do you think the term puts too much pressure on people to finish games? One of the comments I had recently on a video, which I'll highlight somewhere over here, is that back with the 360, it felt like there was more of a pick up and play style of gaming where you could pick up a game, jump into it for 2 to 3 hours, jump off, play a different game, and just jump between the games. And it wasn't an issue. But now we have the term backlog, and it is quite a grey cloud that kind of just hangs above your head. It's when you haven't finished a game, you feel like you need to finish it so that you can mark it off your backlog. And I thought about this the other day and kind of went, that's weird, because that's why I push myself to finish games, even if I don't like them. Recently, I played Crackdown 1. I wasn't a big fan of it. I just, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, but I pushed myself to finish it, number one, for content, and number two, because I wanted it ticked off of my backlog. I didn't want to half play the game. And I was like, is that a good way to play games? So I want to know, what's your opinion? Do you think the term backlog is a good term for gaming, or do you think it kind of really puts pressure on people to finish games even if they don't want to? I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Now, one last thing before we wrap up this video, some more news. Last week, I was out filming for the ANZ Indie Showcase, which is an indie game showcase that is put together by the Indie Brew, and it basically just showcases a bunch of amazing games coming from ANZ area, so Australia and New Zealand, and there's some amazing games in the lineup for this year. But I did want to take the time to sort of promo it a little bit, self-promo. I am a part of that channel, the Indie Brew. I do a few gameplay stuff on there and some interview stuff as well. And I think it's such a good way for indie games to get recognized. And for the most part, there's a lot of indie games that follow that old school retro style of gaming. So as a retro gamer, there is a lot of variety there for you to choose from, and I'd highly recommend looking into some indie games as well. But it was a lot of fun. This year's one is sort of Australiana themed, so we went out camping and filmed a bunch of stuff on location, and it is going to be airing next week on the 5th. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'll put something up on the screen to show you guys. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you are into indie games, head across there and check out what's on there. There's a bunch of awesome games, and yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be really, really cool. And aside from that, PAX is coming up. So we're like 8 weeks out from PAX. So there's going to be videos based around that coming up on the channel probably over the course of the next 6 weeks or so. And then there'll be the final video for PAX, which I hope I'll just be able to shove a whole bunch of stuff into. That would be nice. But yeah, that's the news. Oz Indie Showcase, going to be absolutely fantastic. If you're into that sort of stuff, definitely tune in, come across, have a look at it, and you'll see me doing hosting and talking about video games, which is a passion of mine. I love talking about video games, especially good ones. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you to everyone for watching. I do appreciate it, and keep commenting. I love seeing your comments. I'm trying to respond to every single one I can, and there's some really good discussions coming in there. So I think I'm going to make a video just talking about some of the key points of some of the comments and just discussing some of the stuff, because like I said, some really good points being brought up over there. Thank you to all the new subscribers as well. We've hit 125 like really, really quickly. The next goal is obviously 150, and we're making good progress towards that. So big thank you to all the new people that are joining us as well. In saying that, if you are new to the channel and you do like retro games, Xbox 360 gaming, game hauls, and seeing someone play your favorite game for the very first time, please do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you and bring you along on this collecting journey with us. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one. And as always, enjoy your gaming.